So today we're going to start on linear equations, which is section 2.2. So 2.2 is linear equations. And one variable. So one variable here. And so the standard form for linear equations, one variable, is the ax plus the b equal to 0. Where a is, basically later on we're going to learn, is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Okay, and so let's take a look at just what some of those equations kind of look like so we can get a good feeling for them. Okay, so let's say you have just a standard one of 5x plus 3 equal to 0. Is this in a linear equation format in one variables? And this one is, because it matches exactly the ax plus the b. The 5 is going to be the a. The b is going to be the 3. And so it matches it really quickly, easily. Let's take a look at one where it is maybe not looking like it. Okay? Okay? So an example would be maybe x equal to 1. That doesn't really look like the ax plus b equal to 0. So, but we can change it so that it does fit. So we could subtract 1 from both sides. And so then you get x minus 1 equal to 0. And so now it does look like this equation. And so the 1 is sitting in front of the x, so that means a is 1 and b is negative 1. And so there's another example of how ax plus b equal to 0. It does have this take on this type of form. You just have to change it around so that it is in that form to prove that. Let's look at another one that doesn't look so much like it. Let's say it is negative 5 x minus the 4, or plus 4, equal to 3. This one looks almost like the ax plus b equal to 0, but what's different about the two is that this one that we're looking at now, it has a 3 here instead of a 0. And so we want it to have a 0 here. And so we have to go ahead and subtract 3 from both sides. And so then we get negative 5x plus 1 equal to 0. And so now it does take on that form. And so a is negative 5 and b is 1. And so that's a nice thing to see, that it does take on that form, when at first it may kind of not look like it did. Okay, let's look at another setup. Again, we're still looking for ax plus b equal to 0, which is our linear equation in one variable. What about 2.5x equal to 0? Would that one work? Well, it doesn't look like there's a b there, and so you're confused maybe that there should be a b in this situation. Well, it really is there, it's just that we don't usually write it because it's also 0. So we could write it as 2.5x plus 0 equal to 0. And so now it fits the general form, where a is 2.5 and b is 0. And so we can see right away that that works for that situation. Now there's going to be a couple out there that don't match, and they're not the same. And so we want to pretty much take a look at some of those as well. So what about if I have an equation like, and I'll draw a line here. Let's say it was 2 over x plus 5 equal to 0. Would this be a linear equation in one variable? Well, this one isn't, because of the x being in the denominator. And since it's in the denominator, it doesn't take on the form of a linear form. And if you were to graph this on your calculator, you would find that this would not work. It would give you not a straight line, which is what a linear equation is. So this one is a no. We cannot change that. It is not linear. It is not linear. Okay? Equation. Okay, another one that may get you to think that it is linear, but it's not linear, is what happens if I have x squared plus 3 equal to 0. Would this one be a linear equation in one variable? Well, this one's not because of the exponent. The exponent tells me that this is not a linear equation because typically when you look at the general form, there isn't an exponent here. It's an assumed 1 right here. And so 1 is what's really there, and this one has a 2. And if you were to graph this one as well, you would find that x squared plus 3 does not give you a linear equation. And so this one also is not a linear equation. And so this is the basic setup of what you see with these particular types of equations that you think are linear or they're not linear, those kinds of setup. And so just giving you a rough idea of what to look for when you're doing the homework and the quizzes. And so that ends this part of the video.